Welcome to Black Queens Uncut. Grab your wine, your vape, or whatever you need to relax so we can get into this Queen chat. I'm Monique Lovelace. Queens, introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Kiki Boom Boom.
What's up? It's TK Trinidad.
And we have my stepsister. I'll go ahead and say it. This is my stepsister. She is a nurse, so we are appreciating nurses. As we know, last week we had to cover Mother's Day weekend, but it was Nurse in Hospital Appreciation. So we wanted to go ahead and appreciate our nurses, especially what is going on now these days and all the trying times that they're going through. We appreciate all of you guys, but this is going to be a really sentimental episode due to the fact that it is a nurse and Jessica. Her name is Jessica. She's a registered nurse with a BSN from Wright State. Say hi, Jessica, to our Queen family.
What's up?
Hey.
Yay. I'm super I'm super excited for this episode because we have a lot of information that I think we all have questions about and want to know. It's easy to look it up, but for the most part, if we have somebody right here, why not, So let's get into it. Okay, let's start off with what everybody wants to know. Are y'all vaccinated or getting vaccinated?
I'm on the fence.
I have been vaccinated. I just got my second shot last Friday.
I am fully vaccinated. I'm vaxed and waxed and
Oh my gosh, are you, Kiki?
Not waxed, but vaxxed.
Oh wow. A little bit too much information.
No, I am fully vaccinated. I was one of those people who did not fit on any list or any essential list, and I was fiending to get it. I feel like
really?
I was for drugs. I am not playing no games because everybody's acting up, and I got time. And God bless so many people we've lost this year. No. Vax me.
Vax.
Now, I only got one shot because I got Johnson & Johnson, but leave me alone.
Oh, child.
I got it before everybody started. I got it before everything started happening.
It's only 7 people though, so
and I'm
alive, so you're good.
Fine. I'm just happy that I got a vaccination, so I'm happy.
You got vaxxed. Did you get waxed when you got vaxxed? They should add that to the vaccination.
Okay, wax.
If you're getting vaxxed as a woman, you can also get a free wax. Thank you.
You know what? That should be a thing.
It really should be a thing. It really should. But I'm on the fence about it. I was really against it. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to get it. I've really been holding true to that. But I want to travel. And where I want to go, they're like, oh, in June, we're opening up to vaccinated US people. And I'm like, ooh, but I'm really sensitive to vaccinations. I don't get the flu vaccination because it makes me really sick. And then I always get the flu. It never stops, never skips a beat. I will get a flu vaccination when they come out. And then January, February, I would get the flu. So I just don't get vaccinated like that. Even as a kid, when I got vaccinated, I was a sickly, deathly sickly kid all the time. So I just don't, it's weird. I guess I'm not really sensitive to, no, that's a lie. Regular medicine, maybe Tylenol and stuff, I'm not sensitive to, but I think I'm not allergic, but pretty sensitive to a lot of higher dosage of medicines. So I'm really on the fence about it. I haven't gotten it. And I'm I don't know if I want to get it, but yeah. So that's my.
I think that's normal though. I'm one of those people that I understand people who are allergic to certain medicines. I understand people who are saying, I'm sensitive because I have problems with the flu shot. I get that. I just don't get the people who are just more afraid of the vaccine than they are COVID, who have no excuses. Because I know people who can't get it. I have an aunt who is allergic to literally everything and she can't get it. I know someone who's just like you. And I know people who have legit concerns, I don't know, I'm sick. That makes sense. It's the people who ain't got no excuse.
Right.
And living their best life doing hookah. And I'm Okay.
Look. I get it from I do yoga like 4 days a week. It's a bunch of like, older white ladies, and they begin on my case. I tried one day to get on in the line, and it was just like, I went to CVS, Walgreens, whatever, and they're like, there's a wait. I was like, okay, can't do that. And then I was in the trap kitchen making stuff. However, I don't know if you get this in New York, Kiki, but I did get a alert. I don't know if you got this, Monique, where it was like saying that because they've been throwing out stuff because there's been a decreased amount of people who are getting the vaccination. So I did get an alert yesterday saying, hey, come to this location, you can get it. I was just indisposed at the time. So and my mom's been harassing me. So I'm probably going to get it like 90%. It's just that I've been in the trap kitchen for like 3 weeks, like cooking up stuff. So I'm really leaning towards yes.
I feel that. At least like you're leaning towards, and like I think they're desperate for people to get the shot.
Oh yeah, they are. Like in LA, they did.
Come and get it. Because
they're losing money.
Yeah, TK, you're right. I got the same thing where they gave you a notice about come and get your vaccination because they were throwing them out because not enough people came and got it. And I was just like, I mean, I don't think that I would be nervous about getting it if I didn't react to even just like the flu shot like I do. And I'm like, I just can't. Like, I get deathly sick. Like, not only do I get the flu when I get the flu vaccine, I get the stomach flu after that in about April. So February, I get about the flu, and then April comes around and I always end up with the stomach flu. So it's like, when I don't do any medicines or any vaccinations, I'm always usually good. So I try to stick with my vitamins and stuff. Like I try to do vitamins and, kind of keep my system going and seeing where that kind of helps. But I do not even like, I went and I can't tell the whole story, but I had like hives. I never had hives in my life. So I went to the hospital and I was like, yo, what's going on? Like I have hives. And literally they have to give you, antibiotics. And then they give you the peptide, whatever that helps coat your stomach when you take antibiotics, because it's really supposedly the antibiotics are strong. Well, the peptide was actually making my stomach hurt. Like I was waking up in the morning and I was like, yo, my stomach feels so like I'm about to throw up everywhere. And it was supposed to be the medicine that coats your stomach in order for you not to get sick. But I couldn't take it. So I feel
like you have a valid point though, just because you have reactions, like to the flu shot and all that stuff. And, I feel like that to me, it's a little bit justified because this is something that's new. This is something that they push through quickly. Usually it takes years for vaccinations to be developed. So in the sense that if you're not fully, confident in when you get a vaccine and your reaction, it is scary because they don't know what's going to happen to you. They're weighing, basically it's better for you to get it than to get sick right now, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have a bad reaction to it. I know, like, even when I went to fill out my paperwork, it said, like, do you have an autoimmune disease or have you had a reaction to any of the vaccinations that, that there are? So that tells me that they know that some people are going to be affected worse than others. Right. That being said, I mean, it's a lot of unknown. But if you know your body is what you need to listen to. If you're not going vacationing and, going drinking and, doing whatever on Tinder, how people are.
But I can't lie, I am.
It's like you know my life. It's like you know my life. I don't.
But I will say this. I am faithful to my mask. My mask is my new lover. Yeah.
Wear your mask. Wear the mask. Definitely. I do. But you gotta just be careful. Obviously if you're talking to somebody and, they are truthful about where they're going and whether they're doing or whatever, that's a risk that you can take, obviously, with one individual person, because then you could be like, oh, well, I'm sick now and I know it was from you. You know what I mean?
That's right.
But, just, when you're going to the grocery store and places where everybody is at, like, people are coughing and just nasty stuff all the time. You know what I mean? I don't care that I've been vaccinated. I'm still wearing my mask. Like,
right.
It's just, to me, I'm like, nope, I don't want it. I don't know if I've had it before. I know I just got tested because I had surgery, but I was negative for it. But I just feel like this is something that is way too unknown for me. And
yeah,
in the sense that like nobody's symptoms are the same. And it's because everybody's bodies are different. Like there's no two people that are exactly alike. So they cannot tell you like, 100% this is going to happen to you. And that's the same with anything. Like diabetics, they react differently to medications. If you have heart failure, you're acting, like your symptoms and how you present is completely different no matter who you are. Yes, there are same trends. You might come in within the same common symptoms, but then you'll have that one random person that's like, ooh, we've never seen this before,
right.
So it's a little scary, in that respect. But like I said, just don't be going wild now every night. You're not going to get it. I would be safe. But honestly, if I were you, my honest opinion would be to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's
what kind of reactions people are going to have and have reactions to vaccines.
And that's what I want to do. I keep telling people that I want to wait it out a little bit longer just to see, because I know my reactions to just the flu vaccine, and that's been around for a minute.
Right.
So I'm just like, listen, and they give me something new. I'll be trying to be like, yes, let's take this because it's supposed to coat your stomach with this. And I'm over here about to gag and throw up everywhere and have to go back off of just, typical stuff. But so I'm very sensitive to medicines. I don't know if it's because I don't take a lot of medicines, and when my body is introduced to it, it's kind of like, well, that's foreign. Well, like that, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. So going into that, because I feel like you've covered so much as far as when it comes to the vaccine, what is some information that you feel like people don't know that people should know about the vaccine?
Well, let me tell you firsthand a little story. I don't know about anybody else, but okay. So me and my husband, we both got Moderna. So that's a 2-step process. First one, your arm hurts for a couple of days. You feel a little tired, whatever, you get over it. It's great. Last Friday, we got the second one, and I've been hearing from a lot of different people that, the younger generation, they have a reaction to it. And I was like, okay, you're going to be tired. You're going to feel achy, and I mean, you can kind of expect that because they're injecting something that's foreign into your body. So you're going to have an immune response to it. I was not prepared. I was not ready for what happened to me. Okay. That's all I can tell you. We got that vaccine. We went to Olive Garden because I was like, oh yeah, let's go to Olive Garden since we're out, let's just do it, whatever. Come home. I felt pretty okay. I was like, whatever. I woke up like I went partying. I threw up the whole night. My head was like pounding. My nose was running, my body hurt, and I just had surgery. And so I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I can barely get around as it is. Like, I'm a thick girl trying to use these crutches and I feel like crap. Like, it was the worst. So what I would tell people is be prepared for that, because I don't think that, it is nothing like I have ever experienced before, after getting a vaccination. So I would say, we did it on a Friday, so we were off the next day. I think that people you need to prepare yourself. You better be off tomorrow or you're going to have to call off, because some people are like, oh, I can do it. Okay, that's fine, whatever. But whew, my husband and I literally went to bed probably at 11 p.m. and we stayed in bed until 5 p.m. the next day, sleeping. I wasn't watching my shows and enjoying life. How you're just, you got the sniffles or whatever. You're just sitting there enjoying life. No, honey. No. We were dead to the world. And I just don't know. I don't wish that upon anybody. You know what I mean? I was like, dang. And, I asked my uncle, I was like, well, I know you got vaccinated with the same vaccine. How did you react? Oh, I was fine. Well, he's like 70 something. So
Yeah.
it all just depends, like I said, on different people, how you react. And in my situation, one thing I will tell people too, you know, they do tell you do not take Tylenol or ibuprofen before you get it. But the other thing is, don't think that you can just pop them like they're candy after it either, because you can only have like 4,000 grams of Tylenol a day. So you can't just, so, you know, if you take one dose, that's already 1,000 if you're taking 500 milligrams. Right. So you can't just pop them like it's candy. And in my situation, I just had surgery on a bone in my leg. So I am on a blood thinner. So I can't take ibuprofen. So, you know, a lot of people might not know ibuprofen can increase bleeding. So you can't just take those like they're candy either. You know, it's a lot of things to juggle. You know, if you don't know somebody that's in the medical field, or you don't, you know, there's no information for you, or you're not aware of those things, but take off work. I'm just telling you, arrange it to where you can rest after, you know, because it was.
Yeah. Kiki, how was yours?
Mine was fine. I did have because I only got one shot. I had a sore arm for like maybe 2 to 3 days. But my aunt, who is older, my aunt's like 65. She got it's either Moderna or the Pfizer. I forgot which one. Her second shot, she had like the flu, like flu-like symptoms, where she was out bad. And she's 65. She's gonna kill me for saying her age. But she was down bad, like down really, really bad. She had a horrible headache, down bad. But then the next day she was fine. My mom's first shot, she felt a little sick, and her second shot, she was fine. So I think it really just all depends on your body, who you are.
Yeah.
Like, our cousin who just passed away, and she didn't pass away from the shot, but she was 104 and she got the shot, but she was already dying anyway. So I don't want people to think I'm not trying to be rude. She was already sick. She was 104. She got the shot like 2 months ago and was completely fine. So I just want to make a disclaimer, like she didn't pass away from that. She passed away because she was already sick and ailing. Right. So I was like, damn, if my 104-year-old cousin can get it, that's how my whole family, we were like, no, all the elders got it. My grandmother, who is a cancer survivor, got both shots and she was completely fine, and she's in her 70s. So that's why I say, I just think it really is different.
It is, because my mom and Jessica, your dad, my mom and your dad got it, and the first shot they were fine. I called them the second shot, and that's what she was saying, that they both just kind of slept all day, and they're in their 50s. So my aunt, she's the same way too, and she said she was just like, I just slept all day. I just felt really tired, but they didn't get like sick. So I think that it does, is like COVID, you never know how it's going to affect you.
Right.
And it's so weird. It's so weird. Like, I just want to wait it out. I'm just going to wait it out, which, you know, talking about vaxed and waxed, let's get into this. Our sponsor, which you might want to get waxed for if you want to pleasure yourself. Hello. The company is Lawand. It's a woman-founded premium brand personal vibrating massagers that bring unparalleled quality to a notoriously sketchy industry. Ladies, we all know about that. Lawand originated as one as hell of a classic wand, all the power you could want, with an award-winning design to match, and has now become a full line of best-in-class, heart-pounding, and hair-raising toys. Yes. So it's super amazing. It has beautiful packaging. Like we said, if you get the smaller packages, you could take it on the go. You could throw it in your purse. You can travel with it. You can use it with your, what is it, TK? Your gentleman callers or suitors.
It's a great toy. Why not?
It really is. It really is. They have some great products. So make sure you go check them out at www.lawandmassager.com. Once again, that's www.lawandmassager.com, and go see what you and maybe your boo thing or your gentleman suitors can conjure up, because they have some really beautiful, nice products. Trust me, we've all tried ours. And it's
let me say, If you have a gentleman caller that doesn't know how to use the products on you or is not, about that life, then you just need to get rid of him because he's not about you.
Oh my gosh. I don't know about that. Maybe you could teach him something, but that's for a whole nother episode. I know.
Like, oh, you don't know how to use it?
Bye. Bye.
There's the door. Don't let it hit you.
Like, I might want to teach you something, but we can see. But that's a whole different episode. But okay. But yes, make sure you check them out, lawandmassager.com, and get your massagers. Okay, get your pleasure one over and over again. Thank you. Now going into our second kind of topic of what we were talking about with nurse appreciation. What is some of the things that you believe, and this is for the whole panel, what are some of the things that you believe that the media is like doing to scare people, or they're giving like misinformation in some places, or if it bleeds, it leads. We're part of the media. We know that's a true thing. What do y'all feel like the media could do better or just kind of take away from whatever? Because I feel like they have been kind of throwing out some misinformation.
I mean, when they show the videos of like them injecting like nurses or people in positions of, of note, and they're kind of looking like they're passing off the shot, like, that doesn't make me want to go and that doesn't make me want to run and go and get the shot. And so, or even, the thing with the blood clots, like it was a huge thing. Of course, there's concern, but when you look at the numbers of people who had the blood clot issues versus the population, it's like, if you're not even looking at that and all you're hearing is blood clots, death, like, I'm not trying to run towards death. Like I'm trying to keep my soul. It's one of those things. And of course, as journalists, we're going to read and look into it and ask the questions and stuff like that. But if it's just the person who doesn't ask those questions and all they're seeing is the headlines or, a little bit of a conversation here or a little bit of conversation there, like, and that's all you have to gather on, then you're not trying to go to the CVS guy today was so happy. You come for your shot? No, sir. I came for some white cheddar popcorn. No shot for me today. So it's just kind of like you're not really trying to rush there and get it. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, I will say this. I hated the fact that the media, Moderna, when they put the Black girl up front, like, oh, she was the head of Moderna. It's like, first of all, that was a horrible moment to do that because you already knew that Black people had a fear of getting the vaccination and you try to push her when this should be an accolade for her, but you try to push her in front of the media to be the one to be like, yes, you have to come and get it. But that just made you look faulty. And then on top of that, this was supposed to be a time that she should be celebrated as a nurse, as a doctor. And like, it all got lost in the sauce. This is one thing I need media to stop to do. Like, do not, especially to the younger generation, do not think that because Michelle and Obama is sitting there getting a vaccination, that's going to make me want to get a vaccination after all the shit that we have been through as a people with the Tuskegee experiments and all the experiments we have been through that they let us go through first. That's going to make me feel okay. And then even now, like, as a Black woman, the high rates of us just going to the hospital and having a kid, we could end up dead. Like, so much higher than everybody else is going to make me want to go get vaccinated because you put a Black woman in front of my face and said, she did it. Go and get your vaccination. Like, that is not the way to do it. And I feel like the media has done that throughout. Spewing, like, making Bill Gates the head of talking about it does not help the situation either, media. Like, I just feel like a lot of things, especially during Trump's era, a lot of things got lost in the sauce. And with so much information out there, it's like, what can we trust is the question. And that's just how I feel about it. Like, I don't feel like media has been doing a good job with it at all.
I'm kind of like conflicted. Like same thing like what TK said. I think I was upset with the media with the whole Johnson and Johnson thing because I was like, okay, you guys are putting this out there that has literally stopped people from getting their second dosages. Like there's so many people who won't get it. And then you stopped saying like, oh, they're gonna stop Johnson and Johnson. I'm like, no, keep it going. And for those who don't want it, don't get it. But you putting it out there, and I get that you want to alert people, but it made people more scared. I don't know. I just feel like the media is here and they're scaring people. And there's already millions of people who said that they don't even want the shot. So now people are like, oh, I'm definitely not going to get it. And it's like, no, you need to get the shot. So I just feel like the media has played a part in, like, as they always do, the news. That's why I don't really like the news. As soon as you turn the news on, take away the information. The news is just depressing. You don't even want to walk outside. So, and
right.
I'm in New York City and I watched the news today for like 10 minutes. I was like, damn.
That is, yes. I be telling my mom and them, turn that shit off. Turn that off.
So with this, it's even more depressing because like, you're hearing like in certain neighborhoods, like my mom lives in Boston and she lives in a town where it's like literally nobody. Like my mom lives right next to a clinic, and that's where I used to always go get tested for COVID. Literally, like they were begging people to come there because the lines were so short. Like, and the news was like, no one's coming here. I don't know. I just felt like the news was just there to scare people, and I kind of wish that they wouldn't do that. That's my only thing, because then people take shit, they make a meme, they put it on Facebook, somebody's great uncle shares, and they're like, see, that's why we don't get that shit. No, get your ass off of Facebook and actually look at the real news and the real research. How about that? Get off Facebook.
Yeah, I second that. Get off Facebook, because
off.
Turn you down a black hole. Like my take on it is that, I mean, the media is always the media, you know what I mean? And I take that, like, you just have to take what they say with a grain of salt. And I think being just a nurse in general, you have to do your own research. And I know that's scary because, you know, you have all these people who are like, oh, well, I'm just going to get on Google and Google it, and that's the right stuff. You know, that's right. Well, yes and no. You do have to make sure that you're going to like a website or looking at a journal that actually has like evidence based information that has been proven. And, you know, that's why we're testing like this, or that's why, you know, they're using these medications. But that's way like, I feel like that's above like an average person's mind. You know what I mean? Right. So it's just, I think the media does scare people, and I feel like that's how they make money though. You know what I mean? Like, you're not scared about something, you're not talking about something. You don't want to know more information about this and that, you know? But I do agree with the Johnson and Johnson. You know, I feel like, I mean, that made me be like, shoot, I'm glad I didn't get that. You know what I mean? Like, immediately. Like,
it made me want to tear my arm off. I was like, no,
it should have. Because let me tell you, even Kaiser, my own insurance would send me an alert. Like, we have pulled Johnson and Johnson. And I was like, oh, okay, I really need to calm down. I was
terrified. My family was like, ooh, girl. I'm like, no. The news made me so scared. I was like, great, my arm is gonna fall off. I'm gonna turn into a
no, you weren't the only one. I had friends who are like, oh, we're just waiting out to see if we're gonna die, like, because they went in line for it, and they're like, no, we're just waiting. I'm like, oh, that's scary, like, damn. But like, in all honesty, you don't know if it's you. Like, you don't know if the shot's gonna affect you in a certain way. You just don't know. So now that you have the shot, and now they announce this, like, not only are they like pushing people away, you have other people who are now like you were saying, Kiki, like they're now fearing, and that energy is like, it's just, I don't know. I think a good suggestion is, with social media can be positive, and with social media, we're like 2 to 3 degrees of separation. So even if you don't know a nurse, you know somebody who knows somebody who is a nurse. Like, you know, it's one of those things that if you really want to find out the information, like, go and talk to the people that are actually in the trenches. Like, you know, it's the same thing with cops. If you want to find something out, what's happening, like, well, in my circle, like, I know enough. You want to talk to a cop, then talk to me. I can get you a cop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know somebody who knows somebody. So if you just don't make that decision based off of, you know, granddaddy reposted something on Facebook that, you know, said something else.
Right. And that's so true. Jessica, okay, so talking about the future of this, Jessica, do you believe, since you are a nurse, I know you're not on the front lines, but you are a nurse, do you believe that this will be mandatory for travel? And do you believe like that mask? My bad, y'all.
Do you believe that we're gonna be zombies in a year?
Do you believe? Let's start this over. Jessica, since you're a nurse, do you believe that this will be mandatory for travel? And how long will we have to be wearing masks?
It's going to be mandatory for travel. I can almost guarantee you that. For masks, it's going to be a while, because what's happening right now is that, there's people like you and TK that doesn't, they're like, oh, well, we might not want to be vaccinated, or for whatever reason that, they may have. So, there's this thing that's called herd immunity. So, if a large amount of people actually become vaccinated, it can possibly decrease the chances of, somebody that did not get vaccinated, their chances are going to be extremely low to get it, which, I mean, it's going to be a little bit before we get there, because there's so many unknowns right now, just like the Johnson & Johnson thing that happened, like, oh, you're going to get a blood clot, like what, so that's that. I'm sure people were like, no, let's wait a minute, see what happens. And, I'm sure people are going to be like, oh my gosh, she had that bad reaction from, the second shot. I'm not going to get it. I can't afford to be off work right now for that, what have you. It's going to be a while. I can say that, and just from history though, like, it was in the 19 something, whatever, with the Spanish flu that happened. Mm-hmm. It was for a while, so I think, I don't want to say it might get worse, but you just don't know, and the other thing that we have to think about, like with the mask, is that, who do you know that got the flu this year? You don't know of anybody that got the flu. Oh, do you know somebody? Okay. No. Okay.
I was agreeing. I was like, that part.
Right. So as soon as people start, congregating and getting their freak on and going out and whatever, and the flu starts flaring up and stuff, I think it's really kind of going to get a little ugly with that aspect. So honestly, I really think that masks are going to be around for a little bit longer, especially until they kind of get a better hold on what everything's going to do. Because it's just complete science, so no one got the flu, right? Or a very small amount of people got the flu. The flu is going to come back with a vengeance. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to be nasty. And then on top of that, you're going to have people, we already have people now that have COVID. They didn't have that many, or they didn't have bad symptoms, but then 2 weeks later, they come back in and they have pneumonia now. Mm-hmm. And now they have COVID and pneumonia. You know what I mean? And then it just goes on and on and on. So, can you imagine somebody being COVID positive? Oh, they have pneumonia. Oh, you have the flu too. Like, for me, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be wearing my mask. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm wearing my mask. And yes, I work from home. So I'm not in an office setting. I'm not at the hospital. But if I'm in the hospital, honey, I'm wearing my mask. And when somebody has a flu, you go in with a mask. Mm-hmm. So, and even in flu season, if there's a bunch of people on your floor that have the flu, well, and what I mean by people is patients, and they're not moving, I'm going to have a mask on, because it's going to just get passed around. That's just how things work, so girl, you need to wear your mask for as long as you possibly can. I know it's about to be hot. We're going to be on the beach with the mask on. I don't care. I'm not going to be on the beach with a mask, but I would wear a mask, and I would continue to wear a mask, because everything is just, it's too up in the air with, how long are we going to have to do these things? I feel like now we're going to, people are going to start hanging out more. They're going to, go to bars, obviously, shoot, I was one of those people that, oh, let me just enjoy life, one time. And guess what? I broke my leg on that same night too. So I'm just saying, don't do it. But,
oh no.
But, that's what's going to happen though. And I'm scared for the flu. I can tell you that, but I did end up getting a flu shot, because when I broke my leg, they're like, do you want the flu shot? And I was like, I guess, you know what I mean? Because nobody's having it. But I was like, yeah, I guess you need to go ahead and put it in my arm because I haven't really been vaccinated for anything right now. So go ahead, you know. But,
so
and it just depends on your lifestyle, you know, and what you're doing. You need to be safe and wear the mask. I mean, it causes problems for me. Like, it causes acne and it's hot, and I'm just like, this is terrible. But in the long run, you don't know how your body's going to react. So I'd rather be uncomfortable wearing my stupid mask than be sicker than a dog and almost dying, you know, because you don't know. You have no idea how your body is going to react with any disease, any infection, anything like that. And especially when, you know, we are figuring out what this disease or infection and virus is doing as we go. This is not something that there's been research on and research. I mean, yes, the coronavirus has been, like, that strand has been around for a very long time, but this particular strand, we don't know. So, you know, it takes time for scientists to sit there and, you know, come up with these experiments and collect data. And until we have a solid book of knowledge on what people, you know, how it affects people, it's too unknown. To me, it's just way too unknown right now, really.
DK, you got a question?
Yeah, it's kind of going back to the same thing as far as like being out. So we're out, right? And I try to make a point when I do go out to go.
I've been out. I'm sorry, y'all.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like
living it up.
Living it up, out and about.
But I kind of with my mask.
No, but that's the thing, though. You walk into the restaurant, you walk up to the person, you're wearing your mask. Then you go into the restaurant, and it's open. I only go to open air places. So you go into the place, and now everybody has their mask on, and you're 6 feet apart. But like, I mean, does that makes, like, to me, it's like, okay, well, I don't go out often, but still I'm sitting there in the restaurant. I was like, this don't make no damn sense, because like you get up and then, you know, you're literally a couple feet away from your car. It's like, well, I'm going to put my mask on. I'm confused. So I don't know. Has there been any like talks as far as, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just
like data.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about that. And honestly, again, that is part of, I feel like, the media and the unknown of they know, you know, it can be transmissible through the air, you know, so when you're in a closed area like that and there's no airflow, there's a high probability of you catching the virus, right? So I feel like it's a balancing act, really, because they're trying to allow us to live halfway normal now. But that being said, there's still high probability, you know, of getting sick. But it's the same thing with the flu. If somebody comes to the restaurant with the flu, you know, it's still in the air. You know what I mean? So I know I thought that too. I thought, well, heck, here I am. I just sat down at this daggone table. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, shoot, I'm just, you know, just talking in the air, you know, and I mean, I've been inside. I'm not going to lie. I've been actually inside somewhere. Obviously I went to Olive Garden. But still, it just, that part doesn't really make sense to me. And I think it's a risk to have people sitting out, but that's the highest place that you can actually catch the virus, because you are sitting there, you're taking off your mask, you're eating, people are coughing, and, you know, whatever else is in the air, you know, yeah, you're 6 feet apart, but I mean, if that busboy didn't clean the table and that person's little germs are still sitting on the table, and now you put your hands on it, and oh, heaven forbid you didn't wash your hands or use hand sanitizer, and now you touch the bread and put it in your mouth. Well, guess what? You're getting sick. It's very, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's risky, but that
we're hygienically nasty people, basically, is what
right.
It says.
But that being said, though, you can't be so scared that you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you're an infant, right? You know, they don't have an immune system, right? And you can't just shelter your child for its whole life. And, you know, like, oh, you can't get dirty. You can't play in the mud. You can't go around people. Can't do this and that. Because guess what? When they get older, they're not going to have an immune system. So honestly, I think it's healthy to kind of get a little bit exposed and not just get cooped up in your house, because then your body can be like, oh, you know, oops, this person might have had a little bit of COVID, but, you know, you might have a touch of it or something, but it helps your immune system build up. And Monique, you know, for you to take your vitamins, you need to take the vitamins. You know, vitamin D is definitely good for you. Vitamin C, drink orange juice. You know, there's things that you can do to promote a healthy immune system. But I really do, you know, being exposed to stuff little by little helps your immune system. And I think,
because,
you know,
because I can't lie, and people are probably going to like rip me a new one. I've been traveling and flying and like out at day parties and birthday parties.
But you're not the only
you've
one.
been having fun. You've been having fun. It's fine.
I am dedicated to my mask. Even if I'm the only one in the crowd with a mask on, I keep my mask on because I do feel like that does help, like somewhat of a barrier in the most open part of my face. But I, you know, like I said, I take my vitamins, and this is not for everybody. I don't think that I want to promote everybody to go out and just live it up because it's open. But I do feel like, you know, like you said, you just have to know your body. And I kind of like know my body. Like when I get sick, I feel it. Or when I get like my allergies are coming on, I can feel it. You know, just certain things, I kind of know my body. But you know, I feel bad because I've been living my best life.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, living my best life, like traveling.
The whole world everyone has been living their best life. Everybody's guilty of it. Like I'm even like guilty of doing some things, and I'm super like, oh, I'm paranoid, but we're all guilty of it. I do think though, like by the time fall comes, it's gonna be a wrap. Like everyone's gonna be sick. It's gonna be gross. Like.
Well, I rebuke that.
Yeah. I mean, I hope not, but you know, the way like New York just said,
putting
like
that in the universe.
I know. I rebuke that.
No,
okay.
I'm hitting y'all with facts because New York City just said they're about to lift the curfew. The restaurants are going to 75%. 24-hour train service is about to start. Like what?
And nobody is wearing their mask. I went to a day party and nobody had their mask on. I was the only person.
Here's the thing, like I do think, like yes, we should be able to enjoy ourselves, but I think the world is just opening up way too fast. Like there's concerts.
Canada.
I've seen a flyer. I seen a flyer for like governor's ball. I'm like, yo, what? Like, chill out.
That's because mentally it's messing with us. Mentally it's messing with people.
Yeah.
And I think they just are like, you know what? At this point, it's just going to have to be herd immunity, which actually brings me to a good wrap-up question, which is, you know, what do y'all think that, especially you, Jessica, first of all, how can we help out the nurses and doctors so that we don't get the overcrowding again? And I know you guys are in exhaustion, especially the frontline workers on all of everything. But what is it that we can tell the general population, a general public to do to help with that?
Wear your damn mask, wash your damn hands. Okay. Like seriously, like, you know, those are very simple things, but you forget. You know, I mean, you can say that, oh, I wash my hands all the time. Da, da, da. Okay, well, guess what? You just touched your face like 3 times. You know what I mean? Like you don't realize that. Oh, you touched a doorknob and now you're touching your face. You touched the doorknob, you took off your mask and you didn't wash your hands in between. You know what I'm saying? So you don't realize the things that you touch. So my thing is wear the mask. If you're going to be out, okay, that's fine. But you need to be taking care of yourself and you need to wear a mask. First of all, you know, I mean, I guess if you're going over somebody's house, you need to ask. And honestly, I think people need to do more asking. Like, do you want me to wear a mask? If they say no, then okay, whatever. But like in a grocery store where you cannot ask other people how they feel, wear the mask. You know, I feel like this is something that, you know, people all have to go to the grocery store or get a delivered, whatever. But, you know, that's not a place where they're just going to have fun. Like, so if these are places that people, you know, have to be at, that I think it's very respectful for us to wear a mask, even if, you know, you feel like, oh, well, I'm fine today, you know, whatever. And that's another thing. Like, we can be asymptomatic. Like, a lot of young people, shoot, we're probably passing around COVID and don't even know it. And
Right.
the thing is that it affects everybody differently. And I can say, last December, I was sicker than a dog. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And so is my husband. And I mean, we could have had COVID. I don't know. Because they were just like, you guys have a virus. It's fine. You know, you're fine. But it could have been COVID. You could have actually already had it. You know what I mean? So it's just,
that's what I was thinking. Kiki, remember last year in March when we were filming and I kept saying I have a cough? I was like, I just got a cough. And it was 3 weeks. I had a cough for 3 weeks. I had never had a cough that long.
Infected us.
A lot of people were sick. Like, I had like the flu, and I've never gotten the flu before in my life. I got it 2019, and I got it from my boss because he was traveling filming. And he was like, oh, I think I got it from my kids. It's a fever. But this was like 2 years ago. And then I remember 2019, 2020, before COVID like became a thing, because it's always been a thing. But before we knew what it was, there was so much people that were sick and had no idea what they were sick from.
Right.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, we can be asymptomatic and not even know it.
Because I was sitting in the studio with y'all. I was like, y'all, it's just my allergies. But I had a cough for 3 weeks. It was like the longest cough I had ever had in my life. And it was like a smoker,
yes.
It was like a cough that I had never really had. And I was like, why am I coughing like that? Like, I had to tell people I can't even come, because this is when everything started shutting down. I was like, I can't come because I have a cough and people are looking at me like I'm crazy. And they didn't even have testing out by then. So it wasn't like I could get tested for it and be like, you know, because I have insurance. So I could go easily get tested if it was, you know, available to my age range at that time. And it wasn't. So I could have already had it and just not even know, because that was the longest cough I had ever had in my life. And I kept telling you, Kiki, I was like, this is the longest cough I've ever had, because me and Kiki was like, oh, we just have allergies. And I went into the studio like, I was like, y'all, I don't feel well, but I'm gonna just pop these pills right here and I'm gonna be good. And I was good, like fever wise and stuff. But for the most part, like, I had a cough for like 3 whole weeks. It was like really weird. And that's what I say, when you listen to your body, you kind of know when things are weird.
And that's another thing, fevers. If you feel sick, don't be around people. Like, do not go to the store. You can, you know, order on me. Right. I am shaming you, bro. Don't be out. But no, I mean, but you don't, you know, I'm just saying, you know, it's a higher probability that you're going to be passing anything if you have a fever. You're usually contagious at that point. So if you have a fever, then don't go to the movies. Don't go to the bar. You know what I mean? Please stay home. Right. It's just normal. That's just normal etiquette that I think people forget. And that's why the cough went around our office at work, because people were almost like, what is going on here? I mean, you know, we don't really talk a whole bunch at what I do now. Like, I kind of just am a little computer nerd and type on the computer. But I was like, why does it sound so, like, what is going on? I know all these people do not smoke in here in this office. So what is going on in here? And people are just coughing. Like, I'm just, you know, we could have worked from home then too. But if you are sick, do not put yourself in positions where you can get other people sick. You know, it's just.
And then, you know, I do have one more last question for you before we do wrap up this episode, because I think this is really important. I always want to take away for the audience, if they do go to Google, what are a couple of, like, you can give 1, 2, or 3 good sources that are reliable for them to, like, you know, be able to go to and get information from?
Well, you can get on the CDC. Obviously, that is a good source of information. Do not use WebMD. I know you said what sources are good, but do not use WebMD. No, and don't use Wikipedia or whatever. No, or WebMD. No.
WebMD will scare the shit out of you. Like, I be over here Googling and I'd be like, yo, I have a disease and I don't like, I'm going to have to go see the doctor.
Right. So no, I can't think of what it's called right off the top of my head right now, but anything that usually has like a .gov at the end of it, that is a good resource. Or if you find a journal that's written by a few nurses or doctors, I mean, those people have taken time. They have done experiments. They have collected data. They are, those are sources that you really need to use or utilize. I can't think of the daggone website. I'll have to tell you later what it is, but the CDC, it is a good source. If you know a nurse, she might have a nursing book for you, and it would be a real big, thick med-surg book that has a lot of diseases in it. I mean, things like that. Now, granted, things change a lot, so sometimes that information is not always updated, but definitely no WebMD. Do not do that. Those sites.
No WebMD, like no Wikipedia, and your masks are effective. Thank you very much.
Yes, everybody, they are effective.
They're not.
Wear the mask. Even though I just have to say though, being a Black girl and loving makeup, my mask is brown, so brown. I know people are probably like, oh my God, when I take my mask off because I have sequins, have to be cute. And I'm like, oh snap, look at my mask. My husband's always like, you turn everything brown. I'm like, whatever. Don't mind my makeup mask, okay? That is not for you to see.
Right. I have two separate ones. I always have my makeup mask and my clean, like just everyday mask, or I switch those out. But thank you so much for coming on the show and giving us this information. We appreciate all of our nurses and doctors and hospitals out there, LPNs, CPNs, everybody who's a nurse or, on the front lines. If you're not on the front lines, even if you're in the back end, we all want to give our appreciation. Thank you for coming on the show. Let them know everywhere that they can find you.
Well, you can find me on Facebook. My name is Jessica Stanford. So you can start on there. I do have Instagram, but I don't always use that. So I do scroll through Facebook, like everybody else, but that's about it.
Yay. Queens, let our Queendom family know where they can find you.
You guys can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
And you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. And don't forget, if you want some body butter, all that good stuff, all that good, you can go to centerin.co.
And you can find me on Instagram at It's Monique Loveless, or my website at MoniqueLoveless.com. And make sure you check out the Black Queens Uncut website. It's just blackqueensuncut.com. Like, go to it right now. We have all of our guests on there, our press on there, all the things you need to be updated on, blogs up on the website. So make sure you go visit that. Make sure you catch up with our last episodes, as this is the second episode in season 3. Yes, we are now in the season 3. But you can catch us anywhere on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you go, we are. And we have an episode dropping every Wednesday. So get your notifications on so that you can get the notification right when we drop. And make sure you check out our YouTube channel so you can see us beautiful queens, at Black Queens Uncut, all social media platforms at Queens Uncut. And join us next time. Thank you so much, Jessica. We appreciate all of you guys. We appreciate you as well. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for listening, Queendom family. Bye.
Ciao.